First of all, I want to thank you all for attending today. I'm excited to teach you a little bit about how you can help your company and help your company grow and help your employees through, through the Incumbent Worker Training Program. So today's session is we're going to talk about what is Incumbent Worker Training. We're going to talk a little bit about why does the program exist, who covers the cost of the training, and the big one, why are they doing this, who is eligible for Incumbent Worker Training, and what type of training is covered, along with, if you are interested, what is your next step in moving forward. I want to introduce myself real quick. Cindy Sutherland. I've been with Career Development Solutions in my 18th year, and absolutely am passionate about changing folks' lives. I've dealt with Incumbent Worker Training in 4 different states, helping businesses upskill their employees and get to better places. I also have Rena Drake with me. Rena, you want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I have 20 years in the workforce side, and I have spent a fair amount of it using the incumbent training, working with people for incumbent training. I work with companies to make that transition, get new skills, and skills have an opportunity to maybe promote within, which you'll see all of that as we go through it. I've worked both sides of the workforce dollars, both for employers and for unemployed.
So while we're going through the program, please, if you have any questions or anything along the way, put it in the chat box. We're monitoring the chat box. I don't mind stopping and answering questions, or we'll also have a question and answer period at the end. We have 2 of our IWT Incumbent Worker Training specialists on the phone, on the call with us also, Sean Stiefel and Brian Maholan. And these guys are amazing. They're kind. They are experts in the field. I feel free. We'll introduce them at the end real quick. Okay.
All right.
So what is Incumbent Worker Training? Incumbent Worker Training, the acronym is IWT. You'll hear us talking about the acronym several times. So when you hear Incumbent Worker Training or that old IWT, I want to make sure that you're understanding along the way. It is specifically created for businesses to remain competitive in the workforce center. It's the spirit behind it, and you're going to hear us saying this over and over. The spirit of it is through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, affectionately known as WIOA, WIOA, and it's their funding through the Department of Labor and continuing education for training and upskilling of current workforce. And existing employees. It's probably the best kept secret on earth. It's designed to increase that local businesses' competitiveness, along with averting potential layoffs and or upskilling your current workforce and then backfilling those positions. Why does the program exist?
The program exists to help grow local workforce and business communities. It's to really help close skills gaps. So if you have somebody who's in your team and you say, oh, I would really love to see them go to this position, but there's obviously a skills gap there, this is the type of program that you would jump in and say, hey, I can help this person do that. Being able to retain employees, as we know, always upgrading systems, changing formats, and as simple as different softwares or anything along that line. It helps you retain your employees. It helps to avert the layoffs. It helps you grow the current employees you have, promote employees into new positions, add a value to your local workforce, and enhance your competitiveness as a local business. It gives you that ability to really grow and strengthen your workforce that you have. Next slide.
So looking for positive outcomes. The 2023 World Economic Forum report says that the skill gap right now with the employees in the labor market is so busy, is so big that nearly half of all workers have to retrain just in this decade. Technology is moving quickly. We're seeing a huge lack of career development and advancement of opportunities within current workforce. And because of that, because of their employees' abilities to move up the ladder, they're leaving their jobs. This program will help you recruit new talent, and it will you will be telling other employees and potential employees that you believe in upskilling your employees and promoting. And that's what this program is about. So who covers the cost of the training and why? Department of Labor. This is a Department of Labor funded program. Think of that, your tax dollars at work to help your company. So the Incumbent Worker Training is funded under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. It's there to help both the workers and the businesses with an opportunity to build your workforce, increase participation, and make your business more competitive. It's designed to ensure the employees can acquire new skills. Those new skills will help them retain their employment and advance within your company. Avert layoffs. Rena, who's eligible for IWT?
Employers are eligible for IWT as long as they have a need to upgrade skills for employees to retain the competitiveness in the industry. They're in the private sector, nonprofit, and local government entities. Employers must have obtained at least been in operation for 12 months and current in all states on their federal tax obligations. So basically, if you're running a business, you've been there for you've been there at least 12 months, and you have employees who are seeking and you're looking for a way to upgrade your employees, this is a great program for you. As far as the next slide, the employees eligibility, they must be employed full-time, be at least 18 years of age, a citizen or non-citizenship, they must have their permit to work in the US, must be a resident of the area where they're found, where the funding comes from. And you can see where that gets tricky, meaning if you are running your corporate business out of one area and the person lives in the other, that's why that question is there. So not all businesses are run in the same area. And meet fair labor standards, establishing employment with the employer for 6 months. So you must be working with the employer for at least 6 months.
So what type of training is covered? Long story short, training that will benefit the employee and the business. So as a business, you're in control of the training that you choose for your employees. You're not only in charge, you're in control of the training plan, you pick the method that would work, the training method that would work best to train your employees, whether it's classroom, whether it's online, where it's group training at your facility, whether it's even self-paced in some cases. You are in control of picking it. IWT is a tool to help businesses invest in their existing employees through training, through upgrading them. It's designed to meet the requirements of the employer. It's to retrain your workforce to avert layoff or give those workers necessary skills to retain their job or to move to a higher position. Rennie, you want to talk a little bit about career development solutions?
Oh, we just lost it. Let's go back one
One
tape.
too many.
Yeah,
There
easy
you
but
go.
good. Career Development Solutions is a training network. So we can work implementing the IWT training program. So you can look at your staff and see what they need assistance in. We have thousands of opportunities. We do live, we do instructor led, we do a live online, and we have all kinds of solutions, meaning when you're looking at, and I know Cindy kind of touched on it, I always want people to think about their whole company. So when you're looking at your IWT training, you want to be able to train everybody, but not everybody has to take the same training. So if you have an IT person, they can pop into a high level IT class, as well as say it's your business manager and they need to brush up on their Excel, or if they need to learn some leadership skills or project management. We have the opportunity for you to work through all of those different things. And as far as the IWT dollars go into play, that's the important piece. You want to show how your whole company is going to benefit from this. And so by going through all the different levels within the company.
Let's go over a couple of case studies. So we had a healthcare company. Their focus was a culture boost. They trained 25 people. The reason for the incumbent worker funding was job title changes and promotions. So what was the outcome after the training? This is from the company, not from us. The training had a tremendous effect on both the organization and the individual employees. Morale has been very high as a result of the investment in personal development. Job title changes and promotions had happened. Due to the initial success and raving feedback, they later enrolled in 3 additional people and courses, and it was all supported through government tax-driven funding. We had a manufacturing business, a small business, and their focus was wage increases and retention. They trained 2 individuals. The reason they wanted the IWT funding was they wanted to upgrade and give wage increases to their employees. The outcome, the owner of the company was so grateful for the opportunity. As a small business, they didn't set any money aside for training and typically are not able to offer training to their employees. One of the employees who was trained has never had much educational access or opportunity and has never done any professional education. Both the owner and the employee were emotional and so thankful of the program. Wage increases happened and the training had taken place. Had just great feedback, and they're going to enroll more employees. So if you're interested in this, if you're excited about this, let's talk about the next steps. Rena, you want to chat about this?
All right. So our next steps are you would complete the IWT interest form. There's a link here. We'll throw it into chat and we'll also email it to you. Our team will set an appointment to identify your company needs. That would be where we could introduce you into Brian and Sean. Our team will also work with your local WIA partners to identify the funding for the training. Our team will facilitate the training for your employees. So basically what you have to do is just hit that link and we can connect with you and kind of see what opportunities are out there and how we can work with you.
So it's a real simple process. you'd identify your employees who need upskilling. And we're going to help you with identifying the skills that they need. We're going to help you with identifying the benefit to your employees. And then we're going to introduce you to funding sources in your area. And we'll work with them too the best we can. So this is just some results. And participating in the Incumbent Worker Training had allowed our employees to receive the much needed training to expand their jobs skills beyond typical on-the-job training. It also aligns with our employees to be more promotable, which is part of our company's core values. Company out of Minnesota. Rena, you want to get the next one?
Sure. As a small company, funding for training can be difficult to set aside. So Incumbent Trainer Worker has provided us a way to train and grow our employees. It gratefully is watching, watching the employees grow, develop, and promote into new roles and becoming a training because of the training they received. And we see this all the time. It's a great way to help your company grow and change. There may be regulation changes. There may be just changes within your industry. I always tell the story. I had a company that made tubing and they were manufacturing it, and it was for the medical industry. And the medical industry made a rule: if you make it, you have to go out and service it. So now you're taking people who've been working on the line out into the hospitals and having to interface with the public. So it was like a whole nother skill set to teach him customer service, how they would interact with people. It's a different type of training that would need to happen, but the people who make it have to go and service it. So that company we worked with for a good year on getting everyone through the training. So it's just a great way to help people make that difference and make that shift in your company.
So before we start with the questions, I want to do a quick introduction. Brian, you want to say hello and to give us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. I've been with the company for 15 years, and I'm based out of Utah, and I have clients from all over, and I spend my days just having these conversations with companies, finding the right solution for them, finding them funding, helping any way that I can. Sometimes they need a training and they're not sure how to go about getting it. Sometimes they need funding. Sometimes they just want to know, what options are out there for them.
Thank you, Brian. Sean, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm happy we had so many participants today. And my name is Sean. I'm also out of Utah. And I've worked with, especially in the last year, a lot of businesses on these incumbent worker training programs. And the feedback after we've put everybody through training and the outcomes have always been very positive. And also something I always tell all my clients, and Brian and I have helped a lot of companies go through these projects. So I'm always more than happy to pass along referrals. If you want to talk to somebody who's one of our clients who has worked with us on incumbent worker training, please just let me or someone else on our team know, and I'm always happy to make that introduction.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you both. They're both incredibly nice individuals. Any questions? I always like questions, guys. It makes me feel like I did a good job with my presentation. I basically begged for them. Anybody have questions? You can type them in the chat box.
Dave likes that we have Utah-based employees.
Yay.
He gave a woohoo.
They work the whole country, Dave.
No other questions? Come on, you have to have questions.
It's like Cindy Sutherland. Please
I
ask me a
know.
question.
Is there a cost associated? Oops.
So almost always no. Almost always no cost. And we'll help you with that. I would say 90% of the time there is no cost. You're going to love this. At the size of your business, the government really likes helping businesses that have under 100 employees. So, but almost always no cost, 90% of the time, none, probably more than 90. And they leverage that time that you allow your employees to be in class while they're on the payroll also. So I've ran how many times out of the thousands of people have you seen any costs associated with
Not very
that
many.
company? Yeah.
And they asked here too if there's a cost associated working with career development solutions. No, we're just here to be a conduit to get you connected to the resources.
Absolutely.
Also in the Q&A section, Dave Stevenson has asked, do they have to be full-time employees or can we have full-time contractors?
It depends. So when you're working with Brian and Sean, bring that up and we can see what happens on that. So that's one of those. I always call that a Microsoft answer. It depends.
Yeah, there's definitely different things.
Maureen Jacobson has also asked, we are an electrical contracting firm. Would you be able to help us with development for both office and field personnel?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Maureen. And I want to thank you all for asking questions and thank you for attending. And don't be afraid to reach out to us. You have contact info there. Do I see another question? No.
And Cindy, I'll just add if you don't mind, and I know you've said this, and just to echo what you would say as a closing comment from me is just that this program is there to help businesses and to help employees, and that's the spirit of the grant. So it really is there for organizations to use to help themselves and to also help their workers.
Absolutely. And it's going to open doors for y'all on other government funding that we can teach you about along the way. There's funding even as you're hiring people to backfill those positions that will fund or could fund the salary of the new employee. I've seen it go as much as 75% of their salary for the first 6 months. So there's funding out there that people just don't know about, and I'm passionate about getting the word out.
And it could give companies a competitive edge. And how nice is that these days when inflation's at an all-time high and, you know, costs are just going up all the time. But this is something that our country is doing right and helping companies grow through this program.
I agree with you, Brian. God, do I ever agree with you? Yep. I believe in it. I use it. You mix that. There's Benjamin, there is a taping of it. You'll probably get to hear me talk a little bit about my hair or something, but we'll send it out to you.
That early stage, right?
I know. I always do it. I do it every time, but we'll get it out to you. Thank you. Well, thank you all, and thank you for attending today. And everybody keep warm. Is there another question there, guys?
Not that I see.
No. Thank you all. Thank you all. And I'm so excited that you were here and stayed for the meeting. Go have a great day.